This is always an interesting interview. All right, welcome in, everybody. This is a public affairs program shedding the light on the interests and issues and concerns of the greater Pittsburgh area. Good morning. My name is Jonny Hartwell. Special guest, old friend Maggie. No, it's not that she's old. She just...
yeah, thanks a lot.
Maggie Rothenberger, President and CEO of Partners for Quality. Maggie, how are you?
I'm really good, honey. How are you?
Good, and you brought a friend.
I did, a new friend.
This is Johanna Garino, Director in Development of Partners for Quality Foundation, which
correct.
Which is part of...
That's right. It's a subsidiary of Partners for Quality.
Let me say good morning to Johanna.
Good morning.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Really well. Thank you.
So you haven't worked with each other for very long, or have you?
I think it's been a couple years, but it feels more like 20 or 30.
At least. Maybe a solid decade at this
You
point.
never brought her into...
I know better.
Are you embarrassed?
No.
She likes to keep me in an office upstairs away from the people.
I gotta tell you. Because I've worked with you guys for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
this is my favorite interview.
You say that to everybody, don't you?
I don't. I don't. And I wouldn't, I try not to tell Maggie because it will go to her head.
It does.
And just,
Oh, yeah. No, I put it everywhere. Jonny Hartwell's my, he loves me best. So,
well, I'm absolutely gullible, so I believe every word of it.
All right.
So there we go.
All right. Partners for Quality. Maggie, tell me everything. Describe what the organization is.
So, Partners for Quality is an agency that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, as well as mental health, behavioral health needs. We have 5 agencies, subsidiaries. We are the parent corporation. So we do all of the back office work. We do HR, we do IT and fiscal and compliance, all of that. And it allows our subsidiaries and our executive directors and directors of those subsidiaries to really focus on the work. So, for example, since we have Johanna here, she is the director of the foundation. So we take care of all of the things that she needs things taken care of, her software, how we collect money, all of that. So that way Johanna's out there and she's able to work very, very hard on obtaining grants and funding for some of the things that we really need for our subsidiaries across the board.
And we're going to be talking about the subsidiary, and there's going to be a different name.
Easy for you to say.
Oh, no, it's not. And it could be confusing. So we're going to try to define some of those.
We're one big family that does different work everywhere.
So, Johanna, what is the foundation, and what do you do for the foundation?
Absolutely. The foundation is the part of the organization that handles all of the grants that we seek from our incredibly generous foundation community here in Pittsburgh. We also manage our very generous donors. We have a lot of very kind folks who are supporting our organizations to make sure that the folks that we're providing services for have access to more things than just the basics in life. The foundation really exists so that the people we support can live the lives they choose, whether that's attending a concert or, getting a new couch, the things that really make a life fulfilling and worth living. The foundation works really hard to raise money, so all of our special events throughout the year, that money goes right back to the people we support.
All right. Now, that's just one of the subsidiaries.
Correct.
Correct. And so we're going to talk about, but let's talk about Citizens Care. Is that also a subsidiary? Or
yes.
Is that,
yes. Actually, Citizen Care this year is celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right. I know, 50 years, which is pretty remarkable.
Shame on me. I should have brought a birthday cake.
Oh, you know what? You should have, but that's okay. You have a whole year to celebrate.
Okay.
So,
all right.
If I'm not mistaken, it was May 4th. May the 4th be with you. That's when they celebrated their actual 50th.
In 1975.
In 75, that's when they opened. And this year we're celebrating it all year long. So you have a little bit of time for the birthday cake. But no. So one of the things that I have always wanted to do is kind of collect our history of how we came about. So Citizen Care was actually the first. It is the anchor of our organizations. And Partners for Quality was born out of Citizen Care. So Citizen Care is our first. And it was formed, and part of the history that we've been going through is it was formed due to the fact that Polk institution was overcrowded and people weren't being treated very nicely. So,
and so for the people who don't know the backstory of Polk, that was an institution here.
A state institution institution that housed people with developmental disabilities, behavioral health need, physical disabilities. Unfortunately, in the day, in the 1970s, it was just really a place people were told to drop off their kids and told that they'll be fine, and they really weren't. And so that's where our history came from, we pulled and ended up transitioning 132 people out of Polk Institution into the Robinson Development Center, which is actually the office building we're in now. And then in the 2000s, we transitioned people that were in this mini institution, if you will, although very well staffed and very well taken care of, into the community. And the building was donated back to us so that we could use it for administrative purposes. But going through this history has been amazing. And we also still have, I think it's 7 or 8 people who transitioned from Polk that are still in our care. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, they're elderly. They're elderly
sure,
now.
Yeah.
But, And so we've tried to get a hold of their families and to really talk about what it was like 50 years ago for their loved one and what they were told and all of that. So we're putting all this together with the foundation's help with marketing and communications. And we're putting together a video. We're putting together a history line, and we are turning all of this into a giant gala celebration at the Heinz History Center on November 5th. It really is, because when we started down this road back in March, what we found was the Heinz History Center actually had documents concerning citizen care online. And so in working with them in obtaining some of our history and providing them our history back so that we're donating it to them, a new partnership has developed. So very, very exciting to have our gala there.
All right, so tell us more about the gala.
I'm going to turn that over to Johanna, because Johanna is part and parcel of the foundation, which is helping through this.
Yeah, just part of the team that's doing some of the planning. It'll be Wednesday night, November 5th. We're starting with cocktail hour at 6, of course. And then we will have dinner and a program of speakers that I think anyone who is engaged in their community, who cares about folks who have disabilities or mental health or behavioral health needs, would find very interesting. We're going to hear a bunch from our past executive directors through our current programming. And then we really hope to launch into what we see the next 50 years of citizen care might look like. So it should be really wonderful. And then we'll have dancing and more drinks and lots of fun.
An important question. Is there going to be cake?
There will be dessert. How about that? Maybe we should add that to the program. Maybe we should be singing happy birthday. I think that's not a bad call,
that's
Johnny.
A great idea.
Not that I'm obsessed with cake.
It sounds like you might be.
like cake.
However, today I might be. No, I'm just kidding. This is an event where, you want to celebrate the fact that, 50 years and you've helped. How many people have probably?
Thousands. Yeah. And even peripherally, that includes families who just called us because they had a question and that we were able to help them. So we've been in the community, and for any company who does this kind of work to still be in business after 50 years and thriving and looking at the next 50 years. And I think for me, this year has been very poignant in looking at that, going, wow, look at where we came from and look at where we're going, and to just glimpse in the rearview mirror, but then focus on the road ahead. It's been really wonderful in talking with people throughout Citizen Care and our other agencies to go, all right, now what? Now what can we do? And, the times are very different. Everything's very different. When Johanna was talking about why the foundation was necessary, a lot of the people that we support they're not able to become employed. Right? Now, that doesn't mean that they don't want to work. Mm-hmm. It's just that jobs out there can be scarce. People with disabilities have a harder time managing time and getting to work. So where you and I take for granted that we go to work, we get a paycheck, and we can do that stuff with our paycheck, a lot of our individuals don't have that. And again, not because they don't want to, it's because, unfortunately, they haven't been able to find that right fit You know what I mean?
Find the job, then find the transportation, and
So,
find the kind of training that they need, and the kind of patience that is required for somebody.
I mean, look at the patients you have to endure today with me. And, but it's something
it's
that you have.
It's always a pleasure.
Sure
with
it
you.
is. But
I'm not usually this patient. For you, Maggie, I'd make an exception.
But I think when you look at that, and then you see somebody who is like, wow, it's really important for me to get my hair colored, or it's really important for me to go to a baseball game. The money isn't there because the job isn't there. And the foundation will provide that through our difference maker grants. And that's really what this is about.
The Partners for Quality is kind of an organization that lets other organizations focus on the individuals.
That's correct.
Give them the kind of life and thrive.
That's right.
To thrive, not just,
right.
And so let's talk about some of the other subsidiaries.
Okay. So we also have Milestone Centers, which is the corporate office for Milestone is out in Monroeville. So that's on the east side of Pittsburgh. We're on the west side of Pittsburgh, so there's a plethora there. And they provide supports. They do behavioral health supports along with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They have a thriving outpatient program, supported rehab. They have service coordination, as well as they have community programming. So they do a lot of that. They also have
what kind of programming would you?
Well, Chain of Hope is a drop-in center for people with mental health issues, along with being a food source for people who have food insecurity. So we do a whole bunch of meals. People can come by, pick it up. So it's that kind of a boots on the ground program. In addition, we also have Allegheny Children's Initiative, which is in Southside, and they do a great job with younger folk under the age of 21 working with families. Most recently, we had a concern with funding for the Moms Empowerment Club. So we have about 8 families.
And what is that?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. Moms Empowerment is where they bring together families that have had intimate partner violence and bring them together with some therapists and some community workers to help them through and help the family through some really difficult times. And hopefully by having that network available to them, they're able to go back into the community and thrive. So we have, I think, about 4 or 5 sessions or, clumps a year every year that they're able to come in and get this kind of help. But as we all know, funding is very difficult, especially in Allegheny County. We compete for roads. We compete with the homeless, obviously, which we have a concern here in Allegheny County. So sometimes the foundation, we rely on that as well to make sure that we're helping the people that need to get help.
All right. So the gala, is this also a fundraiser? Are you hoping to raise some funds for this?
It's a combination.
Or it's a way to educate people and to celebrate the fact that they've been.
It is. And hey, you know what? If you go on pfq.org, we're happy to take donations all times of the year. So don't ever feel like you only have to give money when you hear from us.
But you know what? If somebody is not familiar with your organization or some of the subsidiaries and they want to get more information, a website is a great way to do it. But if they come to the gala, they'll get to know. Well,
the gala has really, so it's been very interesting working with some of the people supported. So some of the people at Citizen Care are so excited. So a friend of mine, and I call her a friend because let's face it, that's what we are, even though she's supported by us, she got her clothes and she needs them altered and sewed. So I was summoned to her home where she tried everything on and told me what
Maggie, you are summoned.
That's right. And, so now I had to go take measurements and now I have to go do all this alteration and people are getting dresses.
As most CEOs do.
Well, yeah, all other duties as assigned. And, but I do charge her a glass of wine, for all of this. Yes. So, and she was hysterical because she ended up wanting tickets to this over the summer. And I'm like, well, we don't have tickets yet. So she ended up calling Johanna. I'm like, call Johanna. And she ended up
Did you get her tickets?
Absolutely. Kim is registered and ready to go.
She was the first ticket.
She was very, very close.
Yes. So, but again, so this is the kind of excitement that's going on. And so we are going to have a lot of the people that we support celebrating with us.
So if I go to the gala, what should I wear?
If?
I mean, you know how I normally last time I showed up in a disco disco ball outfit.
I think as long as you show up, Johnny, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you wear.
I'm summoning you to
That's right.
alter my
I am
clothes.
summoning. Yes. So this is a formal occasion. So
Okay.
I think that we are probably not going to want people in yoga pants.
Gotcha.
And maybe a skirt or a nice dress pants.
Should I wear my formal disco gear then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. As long as you have your top hat.
Got it.
I think
All
that's
right.
going to be important. But no, we decided to go a little more formal this year.
So it's black tie.
I wouldn't say black tie, but certainly a tie would be helpful.
Nice. Okay.
Even if it's disco related.
All right. Well, speaking of disco, I wore the disco because it was disco duck season last year.
Here we go with the ducks again already.
Well,
it's October. It's duck season. Oh my goodness.
It's always duck season.
Have you started planning the duck derby?
Of course we have.
Yeah.
Get a load of this. We
Okay.
had to change the date of the duck derby. Ask
know.
me why.
Oh, why?
Because of the NFL draft.
Oh, that's right.
Can you believe it? And it is on May
Get
9th.
Roger Goodell on the phone.
You know what? Amen.
We got to move the draft.
I know.
Sorry, Roonies. You
Yeah.
got to pick another weekend.
Yeah, so May 9th.
May 9th,
Typically
okay.
it was in April, but we have set May 9th as the, is it the 5th? The fifth annual. Oh my gosh, 5 years. And it's duck season already.
And for
October
those
1st.
who aren't
Yeah.
familiar with the Duck Derby,
It's the Steel City Duck Derby. I've been trained on this. Yes. And you can get information on partnersforquality.com, pfq.com.
and what you do is you buy a duck, and then they load up.
Yeah, a plastic duck. Let's
as
just
many
be clear.
ducks as you want.
That's right.
Yeah, not a real duck.
No. Well, we've had
gotten that question
before,
for
so
sure.
that's why I have to say a plastic duck. We've gone over this before, but that's
Pittsburghers
okay.
are fascinated with rubber ducks.
Oh my gosh, they are.
I know.
They are. I mean,
it's
we
part
had
of our DNA. I don't know why.
It really is. And we've had people end up like wearing duck costumes, and not just our, mascot duck. I'm just talking ducks.
Wait
So-
till you see. There's a new special guest who will be arriving at the Duck Derby this year.
Don't tease me. Joanna, tell us
A
what
special guest.
There will be a 20-foot inflated rubber duck.
Nice. You got the big one.
And
You
he
got
is
it.
available to travel, to sponsors, anyone who's interested in getting involved. We're happy to bring him to your parking lot and put him up. However,
And
we'd
who
love
are
to celebrate
some
him.
of your corporate sponsors for that? Because do you have a Jeep dealership? Because you know how people are fascinated with ducks at the Jeep. Everybody.
This is something Tammy Rippey, who is our incredible special events director, has been working on for the entirety of these 5 years. And we are reaching out to, I'm talking to you, people on those Facebook groups who are the duck Jeep people. They are enthusiastic, and we want to connect with you. We
That's
really
a good
want to make
idea.
sure
That's
that
a great
you're
idea.
involved. We want you to bring your Jeeps and line them up in the parking lot
Oh
so
my
that
God,
everyone
that'd be
can see all
awesome.
your ducks. And we would love to get involved. So reach out to us at pfq.org.
So you're looking for sponsorship, and of
Absolutely.
course, okay,
Always.
Always,
Always.
and it goes,
Always.
and it's a great cause. And so is that the Duck Derby probably your biggest fundraiser?
You would think it's our biggest community fundraiser.
Okay.
So that's our gift back to the community. And by that, I mean, everybody's invited. It doesn't cost anything except, $5 a duck. We do ask that you do that, but you don't have to. We have food trucks, face painting, stuff for the kids. As long as we struggle with the weather at times, but May 9th, I hear Tammy's already put in a huge favor to Mother Nature. It's going to be beautiful out there. The only thing we're going to have to worry about is suntan lotion. So, but yeah, no, that's our community event. I think that, our biggest fundraiser event is our Bob Pompiani golf outing.
Okay.
And this year will be number 35.
It is a big milestone.
So it's
year.
relatively new.
Yes, it is. It's relatively new. Bob has been doing this with us for many, many years, and now his family's involved, and he has been so gracious with his time and what he does for
And
our
who is this Bob
organization.
Pompiani?
I'm not sure. I hear that he's somebody
maybe on TV once in a
maybe
while,
and then the
something like that.
radio,
Oh.
and then doing the other thing, and everywhere.
Is every person on a local TV news and sports named Pompiani? Because I think that the Pompiani
I
family
believe
is
so.
taking over.
And I believe
It's a
so.
dynasty.
That's right. That's
Do I have
right.
to change my name to Pompiani
You
eventually?
might have to. You'd have to talk to Bob about that. I don't have
love
clearance.
talking to you guys. I never know where this conversation would go.
It's supposed to be fun. Life
All right.
is supposed to be fun.
I think it's really interesting, though, to think. I mean, we think about 35 years of this golf outing and 50 years of citizen care.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of organizations or companies or places that can really say, you know, that they've been around for that long. And that's really
and
a
thousands
testament.
of people that you've helped.
Thousands.
And staff. I think it's important to bring up that we have staff at Citizen Care who have been there for more than 40 years, who were there when they moved the initial folks from the Polk Institution into Robinson Development Center.
And they're still there?
And they are still there. And they are still working so hard. And they are making sure that the people we support.
So they're devoted to the vision of the organization.
They could have gone somewhere and made a lot more money a long time ago, but they are still, because they
we
care
make a
about
difference.
it.
We make a difference every day.
All right. Let's kind of reset. The Partners for Quality, kind of like explain exactly what the organization does.
Partners for Quality is a parent organization of 5 subsidiaries that provide supports to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities along with behavioral health needs. And we do that for children all the way to we'll call them our seniors, for lack of a better word. Sure. And we do all lines of business in between. And our subsidiaries are the Partners for Quality Foundation, the Exceptional Adventures, which is our traveling company. We just got a new giant van. A party bus. We got a party bus. You got to go on. I know we haven't talked about it, but you got to go online and see this party bus. It has 15 seats and a table for cards and party lighting. It's unbelievable. The foundation was able to secure grants for this particular party bus, so that was a huge donor event as well. Very happy about that. So that's Exceptional Adventures. Milestone Services or Centers, which is also behavioral health and intellectual and developmental disabilities. Citizen Care, which is turning 50 this year. And I believe that's all 5 of them.
Okay, well.
And Allegheny Children's Initiative, which is our children's department or our children's agency that serves people under the age of 21.
All right, you just mentioned that Citizen Care is turning 50.
Yes,
and the
big gala.
On November 5th at the Heinz History Center.
Correct, with Disco Duck.
With Disco what?
Disco Duck.
Oh, Disco Duck?
No, just you in your disco suit. And we'll give you a duck.
If it's going to be formal, I'm going to look nice.
Okay.
I look good.
Oh, good.
So, all right. And so the information, Johanna, tell us everything we need to know about the gala.
Everything's on the website. You can get there easiest at pfq.org. It'll link you right from the top banner. The event starts at 6 p.m. Tickets are $150 for individual attendees. But that includes drinks, dinner, dancing, lots of fun. We promise it to be lots of fun. And we have had a number of donors and also Citizen Care, which should just be called out for the fact that they are discounting and underwriting the cost of tickets for staff and people supported at Citizen Care. We really want this to be about and for them.
When did you start thinking up this idea to celebrate the 50 years?
I think we put together the committee in March or April. Okay. And so it was a little later than we had originally anticipated. However, it's worked out very well. But the committee is also, like I said, we're going to be unveiling a Citizen Care video talking about the history, as well as little vignettes or little reels that we'll be able to post online.
And there's a little connection between the Heinz History Center and...
That's right. So when we started out in March and started looking for some documentation, early documents to be part of our historical committee. So our historical committee actually consists of all employees who have been there longer than 40 years. It's a mandated committee.
It's hard to keep track of your subsidiaries. You have Milestone, the child care, and now the historical.
Yeah, the historical committee consists of all of our employees who have been there longer than 40 years. They didn't really have a choice. And they have done a tremendous job of pulling a lot of the old information and the beginnings of everything so that we're able to capture and really celebrate the history of the agency. And then the other thing that's really awesome is that Jen Dayton, who's our executive director of Citizen Care, and her crew have put together, this is what we're looking at for the future. So that's going to be really special as well.
All right, do me a favor, Maggie.
Yes.
You obviously, this is an organization that's been serving the Pittsburgh community for decades.
Yes.
But put a face. Who are the people that you are helping? And how many local people are you assisting? So tell us, give us a face behind the organization.
Do you mind if I jump in, Maggie, and give
please,
a couple of stories?
Please.
So Maggie mentioned, Jonny, in the beginning that the foundation does a program called Difference Maker Grants. And that's just we give some money back to folks who are in our services or in programs for the things that they want. And recently, a person supported by Citizen Care, his name is David, really wanted to live on his own. He was living with family, didn't love that situation, is absolutely capable of living independently, just needed a few extra supports, some folks to help him get to his job and some folks to, check on his lifestyle to make sure he's taking care of himself and things like that. But what he didn't have furniture to move into an apartment. He didn't have a couch. He didn't have a kitchen table. So the foundation...
So many things that we take for granted.
That we can just go somewhere and buy. I mean, we really... And what's so important about that is that we get to choose it. I get to go to a furniture store and pick out what my living room looks like. And David got to do that too. Some really special staff at Citizen Care made sure that he got to go shopping and pick out his couch and pick out his table and chairs and move into his apartment. And he just couldn't be more thrilled. And we couldn't do that without donors. We can't do that without folks who support our organization.
And I don't mean to interrupt, Johanna, but how old is David?
He's in his 50s.
He's in his 50s. Mm-hmm. So imagine that. I can still remember, as you're telling the story, I got goosebumps because I can remember going out with my first apartment in college. Imagine that you're living with your parents and that this is a dream of yours that you've had since your 20s.
Absolutely.
And you're going out to pick out your couch for the first time in your 50s. I mean, these are the things that make life worthwhile. And I can still remember the funky stuff you got and, you're looking for this and you're looking for that and you're at thrift stores and all of that, but you picked it out yourself.
Absolutely. So he got to choose what's in his home.
Yeah.
And he gets to choose where he watches TV every night. And
there are people out there listening going, what do you mean? That's how everybody does it. Well, sometimes they don't. If you come to a community home, the furniture's kind of already there. So how are we helping people make choices in their life? And that's really the face of all of this is we want everybody to have an everyday life like you and I, period. And that's what we strive for every single day.
Strive, but you also make them thrive.
Absolutely. Look at David.
Care about their happiness.
Oh God, yes. Nobody talks about. So when you come into work on Monday, they say, "How was your weekend?" Did you say, "Oh, well, I paid the bills. I went to the grocery store." I mean, you do that. That's part of your life. You talk about all those things, those connections, the relationships. So I went to the game, or I saw my friend, or I visited my family. Those are the things we remember. We don't necessarily care that we paid our rent. We know that it has to happen, but that isn't the special thing that happened over the weekend. And that's what we do every single day.
Every day, Citizen Care is taking people to volunteer at the library, or they're delivering Meals on Wheels. They're becoming part of our community rather than being segregated as in some ways that doesn't allow folks to really feel their own worth and their own value. Right. We want the folks we support to know that our community wouldn't be what it is if they weren't a part of it.
That's right.
All right, we only have a couple of minutes left, so let's encourage people to get involved, to get to know your organizations, and to possibly, help support some of these things that you guys do.
Of course. Aside from money, we would love you to give a call. Johanna will talk to anybody and let you know about our agencies. Yes, exactly. We have several events throughout the year. This year they're a little different because of the gala. So the gala again, or a gala, I don't know. Is it gala or gala?
I think both are acceptable.
Both are acceptable. There you go. November 5th.
I think gala is just for gals, isn't it?
Is that what it is? You might be right.
I don't know.
So gala.
I do not know what I'm talking about. We have 1 minute left now.
Yes.
So it'll be fun regardless.
Yes. PFQ.org for more information to donate. We also have the Duck Derby coming up, the Steel City Duck Derby on May 9th. And then our Bob Pompiani Golf Spectacular outing, I think, is June 8th, 9th, 10th in there.
It's
first
in 2026.
Monday.
I'm just trying to get through 2025.
Aren't we all? Hyde's History Center. Really wonderful to partner with them this year and looking forward to everything. What did I miss?
I think you got it all.
All right. No, if you want tickets or more information, go to citizencarepa.org or pfq.org for information and tickets. Mag, it's always great to see you.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time,
Joanna.
John.
Was really nice to meet you.
How fun. Thanks for having us.
As always, if you have any comments, concerns, concerns, or an idea for a future program, please email us from this radio station's website. I'm Jonny Hartwell. Thank you so much for listening.